The night was eerily quiet, broken only by the labored breathing of two men, both of them bearing the marks of a recent struggle. The darkness of the forest seemed to close in around them, the tall pines swaying gently in the wind, their whispers carrying secrets known only to the wilderness. The moon, hidden behind thick clouds, offered little light, casting the world below into a deep, unsettling blackness. August stumbled, wincing as a sharp pain shot through his side where a hastily wrapped bandage attempted to staunch the bleeding. The memory of the beast's glowing eyes haunted him with every step. Beside him, the mountain man, still unnamed to August, pressed on with determination, though the pain etched into his features was clear. His left arm hung awkwardly, a deep wound staining his shirt a dark crimson. "Keep moving," the mountain man ordered, his voice rough but commanding, despite the exhaustion weighing on him. August wanted to argue, to insist they stop and rest, but the urgency in the mountain man's voice kept him silent. They pushed forward, leaving behind the eerie cabin where they had barely escaped with their lives. Every step was a reminder of the danger that lurked in the shadows. When the familiar silhouette of the mountain man's cabin came into view, it felt like a small beacon of safety amidst the threatening darkness. The cabin was small and warm, blending almost seamlessly into the surrounding forest. They entered in silence, the door creaking ominously as it closed behind them. The mountain man moved with purpose. Despite his injuries, he retrieved a leather satchel from a dusty shelf and began pulling out bandages, a bottle of antiseptic, and a small knife. He motioned for August to sit in a rough-hewn chair near the unlit hearth. "Sit down," he said, his tone leaving no room for argument. August collapsed into the chair, biting back a groan as the mountain man uncorked the bottle and poured the antiseptic over his wound. The sting was sharp, but it cleared his mind from the haze of pain and fear. The mountain man worked quickly, wrapping a bandage around August's torso with the practiced ease of someone who had done this many times before. "You've done this before," August muttered through clenched teeth, watching the mountain man's hands move with precision. The mountain man didn't respond, instead handing August a tin cup filled with water. "Drink. You'll need your strength." August took a sip, the cool liquid a welcome relief. He watched as the mountain man tended to his own wounds, his movements steady and controlled despite the severity of his injuries. There was something about this man, something hardened by years of isolation and survival, that both intrigued and unsettled August. Before he could voice his thoughts, a faint sound outside the cabin caught his attention. The mountain man's head snapped up, his eyes narrowing as he listened. August followed his gaze to the door, his hand instinctively moving to the knife at his belt. The silence was thick with tension. Then, like a whisper in the dark, the sound of footsteps reached their ears, soft, deliberate, and far too close for comfort. "They're back," the mountain man muttered, extinguishing the small fire in the hearth and plunging the cabin into darkness. August's heart pounded in his chest as he strained to see through the shadows. The bandits had returned, and this time, they were hunting them with the precision of predators. The leader, a man known only as Chain, was infamous for his ruthless methods, and August knew they were in grave danger. The sound of the bandits' approach grew louder, until they were just outside the door. August could hear them whispering, their voices low and filled with malicious intent. Without warning, the door burst open, the wood splintering as Chain stepped into the cabin, his cold eyes scanning the darkness. A cruel smile spread across his face as he leveled his pistol at August and the mountain man. "Thought you could run," Chain sneered, stepping further into the room. "Let's see what you've got." A low, menacing growl rumbled through the cabin, cutting Chain's words short. The air grew thick with a foul stench, one that sent a shiver down August's spine. The beast. It moved swiftly, a shadowy figure with glowing eyes that seemed to pierce the darkness. Chain barely had time to react before the beast lunged at him, knocking him to the ground with a force that left him stunned. The other bandits scrambled, their confidence shattered as they realized they were not alone in the cabin. The beast's presence was overwhelming, filling the small space with an oppressive weight. It was as if the air itself had grown heavier, pressing down on them, making it difficult to breathe. August and the mountain man could only watch as the beast turned on the bandits, its sheer size and ferocity unlike anything they had ever seen. But before the beast could inflict any real harm, the bandits fled in terror, tripping over each other in their haste to escape. The cabin was silent once more, the only sound the ragged breathing of the two men left behind. August tried to steady his trembling hands, his mind reeling from the events of the night. What was that?" he whispered, his voice barely audible. The mountain man didn't answer immediately, his gaze fixed on the open door, as if expecting the beast to return. When he finally spoke, his voice was grim, laden with a knowledge August couldn't comprehend. Something that should never have been disturbed. Before August could ask more, a low, mournful wail echoed through the forest, sending a chill down his spine. It was a sound unlike any he had heard before, deep, sorrowful, and full of despair. The mountain man's eyes narrowed, his expression hardening. "We need to leave, now." "But, no time for arguments, we're not safe here." Without another word, the mountain man grabbed his rifle and a pack of supplies. August, still shaken, followed his lead, the horror of the night's events pushing him forward. They stepped into the darkness, leaving the cabin behind as they moved deeper into the forest. But as they walked, the feeling of being watched returned, an eerie sensation that prickled the back of August's neck. The beast was still out there, lurking in the shadows, waiting for its next opportunity to strike.